they've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Hello there.
You talking to me?
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Say hello to my little friend.
I have had it with these snakes on this plane.
I am Iron Man.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Here's Johnny.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
Hey, you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
You are now listening to Post Credits with your hosts, Caleb Lingle Macias and Nate Perkins.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's a whole new slew of episodes of Post Credits.
Yep, we're back in the studio, baby.
Back after a nice summer hiatus, and we hoped you liked our new intro music. It's not really music, like intro clip.
We worked very hard on it.
Yes,
Kind of.
It's like some of our most favorite movie quotes of all time.
Some of them, yeah.
The famous "Get these snakes off these planes."
Yeah.
Clean version.
We had
of
to
course.
edit it a little bit. You know, they don't want us cursing on here.
Yeah, but last time we did the show, we talked about one movie for the whole. Remember, Caleb, the whole episode.
Avengers Infinity War, yeah.
For 45 minutes, and I would say that by the end of that, we definitely ran out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, there wasn't that much coming out past that.
Yeah.
At least until then.
So this week, our idea is the opposite of that. Since we haven't had the opportunity to talk about a whole lot of movies over the summer, we're going to talk about like 6 or 7 today.
Mm-hmm. We're just going to go run through all the movies, well, some of the movies that came out this summer, just hit or miss, and go from there. And we didn't see all the same movies, obviously, So we are going to kind of take the lead on certain ones.
Yeah, like there were certain movies, like for example, Ant-Man and the Wasp is a movie I caught, movie Caleb has not seen yet.
I didn't see it, no.
But you saw Solo before me. Oh, Jurassic World is another one that you saw.
Yeah.
I didn't see.
Yep.
Or Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, not the first Jurassic World.
Whatever.
But yeah, so we're going to get right into it. Our summer movie recap, hits and misses. And first on the list is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Is it a hit or a miss?
Okay, so I called this one a hit. But, as people who've listened to the show before, I'm a big Marvel fan.
Mm-hmm.
And this one was like, it was like on the plus side of mediocre. So just barely considered a hit. There were it's really funny. Paul Rudd returns as Ant-Man, and some of the other casts include Michael Douglas as Hank Pym. I think Evangeline Lilly, is that her name? Who plays the Wasp? You haven't seen the movie.
I don't remember her name.
Yeah, I think that's her name. And then Michael Pena is his best friend. What is his best friend?
Is T.I. in this one too?
Yeah, he has a small role.
That's funny.
Luis. But yeah, so this movie, I feel like in the first Ant-Man, they had to set up a lot of things that were gonna happen. And so I think this movie kind of suffered from that because it was like, oh, we have to reintroduce the original Wasp because Ant-Man and the Wasp were like an old team. Michael Douglas, when he was younger, he was part of the team with his wife in the 80s or whatever. So there's just like a bunch of like marks that they had to make in this movie. And they did, it's a well-made movie and it's pretty funny and entertaining, but it just kind of seems like not really continuity, but more like litmus, if that makes any sense. Like a litmus test.
Yeah.
Like just plain logic of how things are happening.
Yeah.
A lot of things just kind of happen, which you would expect in a Marvel movie. I mean, it's a world of superheroes and magic.
Yeah, I think the Ant-Man movies were always kind of like the smaller ones, quote unquote, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, there's a lot of things that happen in the movie that you're like, oh, well, that's super convenient or whatever. And the villain is Ghost, I think the character's name is, and it's played by, what's the name? Hannah John Kamen. I'm probably not pronouncing that right.
She looks pretty cool in the trailer, I thought, but...
Yeah, but it was kind of one of those things where revenge because my childhood was ruined. Villain.
Yeah.
It's okay, we've seen that before.
Yeah.
We literally just saw it in Black Panther. It was almost like the exact same thing.
Well, it was done pretty good in Black Panther, I think.
I would say.
Yeah, but I see what you mean.
Yeah, but anyway, I mark it as a hit because it's an entertaining movie, but as opposed to other standards that Marvel has kind of created with their other movies like Guardians of the Galaxy or the Avengers, this one doesn't really line up, I would say.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the first Ant-Man personally.
I liked it, but what didn't you like about the first Ant-Man though?
I don't know. It just seemed like you're talking about how it didn't seem like it quite fit in with the rest of the Marvel universe. That was kind of how I felt just with that whole movie. I mean, there were parts of it that I liked, but I don't know. It felt kind of out of place for what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but like in the first one, it's like out of nowhere he goes and talks to Falcon or whatever at the Avengers.
Yeah.
It's like you can tell that was kind of written in
Like he
later.
just goes to the Avengers.
I mean, I
like,
thought it was fine. It was entertaining, but yeah, like it's no secret that was something done like later on in the script or whatever.
Yeah, they had to throw that in there for every Marvel movie's they've got to show some other hero, you know what I mean?
It's all connected. It's all a big world.
Yeah, they don't want you to forget that. Yeah.
What is interesting, and I think I'm going to get into spoiler territory with this movie real quick, is the ending and how it kind of ties the ramifications of Infinity War, because that movie really left the Marvel universe in a place that was unprecedented in the sense of like, oh, like we lost.
Yeah.
Like we don't really know what's going to happen.
Hero failure, man. It's crazy.
So, do you care if I spoil this for you? Because I want to talk about it.
No, I don't care.
Okay, so in one of the post-credit scenes, the last one, they create like with the help of Janet Van Dyne, who was the mom, the original Wasp who went missing in the first movie or before the first movie. With the help of her, they create a quantum realm like vehicle, mobile in the van, in Luis's van, that you can just shrink down to the quantum realm, like that. Before it was like really dangerous because obviously she was stuck and he almost got stuck in the first movie. But so he goes down there to collect some quantum energy again. That kind of goes hand in hand with the logic of the movie doesn't really line up. They can just collect quantum energy by just moving an object or container. But right when Ant-Man goes into the quantum realm, he's about to get booted out, and then all of a sudden they're like, all right, what's the character's name? Paul Rudd. All right, Paul Rudd. I'm just going to say Paul Rudd. We're going to boot you out in 3, 2, 1, but they never get to 1. And then Paul Rudd is like, oh, haha, guys, really funny. His name's Scott. Scott's like, oh, really funny, guys. Like, but what happened was that's when the snap was. And
the people.
Dr. Pym, his wife, and the daughter, the new Wasp, all were disintegrated, and he was left in there.
So he's stuck in the quantum realm?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that's where they leave him.
All right, that sounds pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, it was pretty eerie, and I don't know. I can't wait to see what they do with that later. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll do a quick rating too. I'll probably rate Ant-Man and the Wasp a 7.
7?
7 out of 10.
All
because, well, actually, yeah, 7 for now. Because when I get to one of my later ones, I'll explain why. But yeah. So.
All right.
Mid-tier Marvel is one of
my
movie reviewers called it.
All right, so we doing Hereditary next, or you want to do 8th grade?
Yeah, it's your call.
I'll just hit Hereditary first, and then we can both tackle 8th grade since that was
good.
one that we both saw. You want to... Never mind.
You want me to pass the laptop to you?
Yeah, sure. So...
IMDb machine that our laptop is.
All right.
I really need to see this one. The trailers looked cool.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, here's the thing: is I wish that I hadn't seen the trailers, but I saw it was before every single movie that I saw before I saw Hereditary. It was in the trailers, and it was so annoying because it was like when you're in the movie or whatever, and you see things from the trailer, and you I don't know. It's just it kind of throws me off sometimes when I'm watching it. But I gotta say, this was a spectacular film, I think. I wish it was playing at the Rivoli again or something, because it's probably one of the best horror movies that I've seen come out. I think I've talked about this before, but how there's been a wave of good horror movies. I mean, there's still a lot of crap coming out, Slender Man or
what was the Nun? That's gonna be out soon.
The Nun. That's
already out.
That's out right now, I think. The Nun. But this was very I mean, it was high quality, and I guess the biggest thing that I can say is that it was legitimately scary. I think that with horror films, you can't just do oh, something jumped out of somewhere, because I mean, it's, you have to kind of trick the audience into like accepting, like you basically have to trick the audience into becoming scared. I mean, you can't just throw something at them and say, look, this is scary. You have to like put them in a mindset, you know what I mean? And I think this movie was like, it's super eerie, first of all.
Almost like a psychological horror, maybe.
Well, you might say that until it gets to the end. I'm not going to spoil it for you, because I think that you might actually want to see this.
I do. It's on my list.
But it's maybe partly psychological in that way. But it's like, it just like drops these little like grains of like this dark foreboding of impending doom in the back of your head. You know what I mean? And so like, it's kind of like you ever see a movie and you just wonder like, is something bad happening right now, or is something bad going to happen? Mm-hmm. Like that was like the mindset I had for like the entire movie, was like something crazy is going to happen, or something crazy is happening, and I don't even know about it yet. So it really messes with the kind of the unconscious like fear, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And that's the sign of a good horror movie. If you just have jump scare after jump scare, it's like, oh, now you're just waiting to be annoyed by the next jump scare. You're not actually interested in like the characters and what's going to happen.
Oh, and that's the other thing, is that this is like legitimately just great filmmaking in general. I think that also helps, because when you have horror films that might be the concept might be kind of scary, but they're not done well at all, it takes away a lot from it, you know. Yeah. And this is a well-made film, and for talking about characters, it is superbly acted. From like one of the main characters he was like some like Nickelodeon actor or whatever.
Yeah, the Naked Brothers band.
Yeah,
dude.
Alex Wolff. He was in the Naked Brothers band, and he was phenomenal in this. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, he had a big role in this, and it was surprising, man. And then Toni Collette, the main matriarch of the family, she was killer. The whole cast was killer, but it's like just very interestingly shot. It kind of like from the very opening shot, it makes you feel like something is not right. You know what I mean? And it puts, even like the opening shot, I'll say, just kind of puts everything into perspective. And I think that's great. It's a mark of good filmmaking. Mm-hmm. And this is a great film. Yeah.
I wish this would be playing at the U Theater. Our campus theater, because like I noticed, so this came out after Ant-Man and the Wasp, and they were playing Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then they went right to Jurassic World. I'm like, wait, Hereditary came out in between there.
I think it's
skip that one.
Yeah, I think it's because, well, those are like big movies. You know what I mean? Hereditary was, I guess it was kind of big. I mean, I saw the trailer, everywhere, but I don't think it was as financially successful as any of those movies were. You know, I think it was financially successful, but not. There's a lot of.
Unfortunately, that's like huge in movies.
There's a lot of great movies don't do well at the box office.
I mean, we talked about Blade Runner last semester. Did we? A little bit, but like a great movie. Yes, that was a total flop at the box office, so they're likely probably, it kind of sucks to see great like writing and directing and acting not get rewarded.
Yeah. Oh, Annihilation too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That one was a flop, but it was. I mean, it's still one of my favorite films of the year so far.
Yeah, it's always too bad. So that's why hopefully we can change the world.
We'll show
spread awareness.
Yeah.
On these movies. But so.
I think if I had to give this one a rating, I'm going to have to go with a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty rare. You usually don't go higher than 8.
I know that. But, okay, well, let me say this. This year has had a lot of really great movies that I think I've ranked at least 4, 9 or above. So, and which one of them we'll actually get to right after this. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on Hereditary. Go see it if you haven't. It should be on Blu-ray or something, man.
Yeah, it's on... I kind of want to check it out this weekend now that you've been talking about it, but hopefully I can get to that.
See, I'm very persuasive, aren't I?
Watch the movie.
Watch the
it's
movie.
Not your call. All right, so you wanna move on to 8th grade
Let's hit 8th
by
grade.
Bo Burnham.
Okay, now, any thoughts? Any preliminary thoughts on this, Nate, that you want to get out?
You know, when I first heard of this movie, it didn't catch my attention as a big Bo Burnham fan who usually does stand-up, like, theater comedy. I was like, this doesn't, like, with all these, like, teenage movies coming out lately, there's been some good ones, like Lady Bird and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like, it doesn't really catch my attention. But after it, premiered at Sundance and was starting to get released nationwide, people were, raving over this thing, including you. You saw it before me.
Yeah, I did. And, man, and here's the thing is, I kind of was in the same mindset. I wasn't, like, expecting to see anything, like, stupendous. I'm not a big Bo Burnham fan. I think he's like Nate was already a big Bo Burnham fan before this, and I was like, I've seen his stand-up things, and I mean he's funny, but I was never like really into him or anything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when I saw this, I was taken aback, man, because it was like it really like I didn't see any of the trailers or anything, and so I think I saw one like way before it got actually released, and I don't know. It really threw me off because I didn't have much expectation for it in the first place, and it exceeded any possible expectation I could have had for it.
Yeah,
personally,
I think. Well, I would say probably the biggest pro of this movie is the writing, which is Bo shines through. Like he's a brilliant writer. Say what you're gonna say. Well, I was just gonna say, like, through writing and the choices he made to make this movie, like, made the movie. Because, well, we talked about Lady Bird last semester on the show. It's a good movie. It's great. Like, we liked it a lot. But, still the teenagers were played by, like, mid-20-year-olds.
Yeah.
Bo Burnham made a point to make every 8th grader in the movie an 8th grader, every parent a parent, every teacher. Some of the teachers were literally teachers at the school, too. So he, like, went that far, and that totally paid off in the realism of this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
That anyone in the audience could be like, oh, there's no, like, oh, we have to pretend that, for example, Saoirse Ronan in Lady Bird is 18, because literally there are 8th graders in front of you in a school, and nothing's fabricated, and it's just, what a great choice, because it totally paid off.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I knew that the 8th graders were 8th graders, like actual 8th graders, but I didn't know about the rest of that.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
So, do you remember? It's kind of obscure part, but do you remember the band teacher with the long like ponytail?
Yeah,
in one shot. That was the actual band teacher of the school they filmed at.
That's
they
funny.
Just wanted to include him, and I'm pretty sure the teacher who like dabs.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was a real teacher too.
Oh, that's funny, man.
Yeah.
The writing is great. It's hilarious, man. This movie is hilarious, and but also very. I don't know if it's dramatic, I guess. Like it's not so dramatic that it takes you out of like the story or whatever, but it knows when to be funny and it knows when to be serious, you know what I mean?
Big time.
Yeah.
He's very good at shifting tones and overall tone and
pretty seamlessly.
I would say. And like, okay, so there's a particular scene in the movie. I mean, we could probably get into spoiler territory. What do you think?
Yeah, we've both seen this, so
yeah.
Spoilers, everybody.
Spoilers, if you have not seen 8th grade yet, you might want to turn us off and never turn us back on again.
Don't do that.
But don't do that, please. But so you were just talking about with Hereditary, about how a movie that horror movie is good because you could sense impending doom. 8th grade does the same thing with a particular scene.
Yeah. You're talking about the car scene?
The car scene.
Yeah.
So basically the main character befriends an older girl, a senior girl, when she's in 8th grade, which is kind of a rough friendship to be had because yet they're only 4 years apart. That's like 2 totally different stages of development.
Yeah.
Senior, you're almost an adult already. 8th grade, you're just getting into that kind of stuff, adult stuff. And but when she leaves the car with her also senior dude friend, I just knew something wasn't gonna go well.
And then as soon as he started, that scene when he actually got in the back seat there, my jaw dropped. My jaw dropped that whole scene because I was like, no, this is not going to happen. This is insane. And it was it was a really intense scene, man. It was really intense.
Yeah, that was super well done, and it was right at a part of the movie that kind of needed something like that to define what the movie was. Because if it was just like another like played off thing for jokes, it would have been like a comedy. But this is what makes it a comedy drama, I would say,
Right.
is this scene. And then a couple other parts too. The part that comes to mind is the fire scene with her dad.
Yeah.
And maybe even like when her dad follows to the mall with them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, and I think it's just such a good depiction of like, like actual problems that kids face today.
Yeah. I mean, it's really weird looking back on this because it makes you kind of confront just how cringeworthy you probably were in 8th grade and just how weird it is to be that young. You know what I mean? Like yeah, it was really crazy watching this. I was having flashbacks at certain points.
Were you did you invite girls over and talk about Rick and Morty with McDonald's, Caleb?
Yeah, I
when you were in
did.
8th grade?
I got them. What did you get? Like 3 different sauces set up for her.
He's like, "Oh, we don't have the Szechuan sauce."
Szechuan sauce, Morty. Yeah.
But yeah, that was, yeah. It's just, again, the realism, and that's what this movie was lauded for.
Yeah, and I couldn't. I can't say there was a single part of this movie that I disliked. I think it's probably the best movie of the year, in my opinion.
Really?
Yes, really. And this is topping Annihilation, which was pretty much
You loved that movie.
which was that was near perfect in my opinion. But yeah, so I think it's the best one of the year. What do you think, Nate?
I would, well, just like, and where it stands in my personal rankings or a rating, because I'll talk about both.
Well, we don't. Yeah, sure.
Because I don't want to rate it yet, but rankings, Infinity War is still number 1 for me. But like, that's just how. But it's up there. I would say it's probably like 2 or 3. But we still have another 4 months, and this is the season when a lot of movies are crammed in, like Oscar season.
Yeah.
It's like late fall, winter, early winter. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, this is totally up there, and I'm just totally. I mean, it's like I'm impressed, but I'm not impressed because I know Bo Burnham is a super smart and talented guy, and he could do anything in the arts and film. It's just he's gonna nail it, it. So I'd love to see an Oscar nom for this.
I was gonna say, yeah, I now have faith in Bo Burnham, and I really hope this doesn't get snubbed at the Oscars but I feel like this is the exact kind of movie
that's gonna get
that
snubbed.
they would snub this. Same goes for Hereditary because
horror,
pretty
they
much,
don't like horror.
Honestly, pretty much any of my favorite films this year are
probably
going to get
the rule
snubbed.
of the Oscars.
Yeah,
if you love a movie, the Oscars won't love it.
yeah, they're gonna nominate Darkest Hour 2 or something.
Darkest Hour 2, A Darker Hour.
The Darker
No,
Hour.
there's some movies that I can tell are pretty Oscar baity,
like
First Man.
Oh yeah,
But
and
but Damien Chazelle is really good. But we're kind of going off topic here, so we'll see how that goes.
I do want to see that though.
But a best not best original screenplay. I mean, because there's levels to a screenplay, right?
Yeah.
And I got a text. Sorry. There's levels to a screenplay. It's not just dialogue. It's all the choices that I was talking about earlier that Bo made that he deserves to be at least nominated for. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I think that would be a great choice. If anything, that would be a great choice would be for original screenplay because it really it really when you put it to screen, like you can't have something that shifts tones seamlessly and presents like these hilarious or seriously, like, I don't want to say tear jerking, but that's
tear jerking.
It makes you want to cry, man. Like, you can't have that if you don't have like a great script to begin with that knows how to transition into these.
Yeah, and to get you to care about the characters too.
Yeah, and I think I've heard a lot of praise for Elsie Fisher. I would hope that she would get nominated for best actress or something, but
that'd be sweet.
That would be
I would not
sweet.
contest that.
Yeah. So rating?
Let's do it. You go. I'll go first, I guess.
All right.
I would probably. So I thought about this a lot. I would have to give it an 8 out of 10.
An 8?
An 8. That's pretty high, dude.
You're gonna be shocked at my score.
Okay, go for it.
10 out of 10.
10 out of what the heck is dude? I swear you did not break 8 last out of every show we did last semester, you didn't go higher than 8, and now you're
broke 8.
dropping a 9 and a 10
I
back
broke
to back.
8 a few times. I broke 8 a few times.
On Annihilation, you think you might have did 9.
I did a 9 on Annihilation, yep.
We don't keep track, so
Yeah, I kind of just have to store it in my head and hope I remember.
yeah. And plus, like, ratings change over time too.
Yeah, that's true.
But this movie is gonna hold up, I can tell you right now. And a 10 out of 10 from Caleb, that is crazy.
It's crazy. You know, it's a great movie if I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Or you might have a completely different taste in movies than Caleb, and you might hate this movie.
And you suck.
So that Caleb says you suck.
Yep.
But whatever. Anyway, so what do you think, Caleb? Do you think we should take our first music break?
I think we're going to hit our first break. We're going to give you a nice track, Pink and White by Frankie Ocean.
Let's do it. So that was Frank Ocean's Pink and White.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you enjoyed that. He's an artist that we both really like.
His spectacular album, Blonde, which you should check out.
But this show isn't about music, it's about movies.
Movies.
That just wait till we get to post music credits.
Post
Post credits 2 music version. All right, enough of the stupid jokes. So we talked the first half of the show we talked about some summer movie hits. And now we're going to get into the misses territory with maybe a couple hits towards the end if we have time. So our first summer movie miss is
Solo, a Star Wars story.
which I don't know about you, Caleb, you might feel worse. I think so for me, Ant-Man and the Wasp was barely a hit, and this is like barely a miss in the sense of like
Yeah.
I was still disappointed.
Yeah, I think it wasn't a miss in the sense that I would consider it like a bad movie or anything. I think that there's still certain merits to it and you can still enjoy it, but I think that given the fact that it's a Star Wars movie, it's a serious miss, you know what I mean?
Even though there are some garbage Star Wars.
Well, yeah, but
it's no excuse to continue to make.
Yeah. I will say this, they are better than the prequel. This is probably better than most of the prequels.
Yeah, well, okay, well we might have a disagreement there. So with all the Star Wars movies now, where would you put this in the rankings?
Now?
Yes. Every single one that's come out.
In the last few years, you mean? Or just in
like out of the
like since
8,
Force Awakens?
The 8 and Rogue One and this. You're the rankings of your movies.
All right, if we're getting into a ranking, it's going to be
just quickly, I don't know.
all right, Empire first, probably Return, New Hope, probably The Last Jedi at 4. I would honestly, I'm just gonna say, I would put this probably right before the prequels. Maybe, yeah, right below Rogue One and right before the prequels, I would say.
Okay, and is Force Awakens in between these two? Between Rogue One and Solo?
Yeah, it would be. No, Force Awakens would be probably right after The Last Jedi, right before Rogue One. So, Last Jedi, Force Awakens, Rogue One. Am I missing a movie? I feel like I'm missing a movie.
Well, 3, 2, 1. Is that what you're going to do? Episode 3, 2, 1?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, so I guess my rankings would be Empire number 1, New Hope 2, Return of the Jedi 3, Force Awakens 4, Last Jedi 5, Rogue One 6. Believe it or not, Return of the Jedi like 7. Or no, Revenge of the Sith 7.
You like that?
Revenge of the Sith over Solo, I would say.
You like that more than Solo?
I do.
Okay.
I would say. When it's tough, it's really close, but I'd say Solo's right behind Revenge of the Sith for me, and then obviously Attack of the Clones and Phantom garbage of dog poop. Garbage bag.
Well, I think Attack of the Clones is worse personally, but
okay, but all right. Let's go back to Solo.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. It was kind of it almost seemed like the whole story was just very inconsequential to the universe.
Definitely.
Okay, spoilers here. They throw things in that really didn't need to be explained, and they throw in Darth Maul at the end.
And I feel like that's more evidence of how inconsequential this story was.
Yeah.
It's not like Rogue One where it was a big deal and it fixed a big continuity error almost.
Yeah, like how did these people even get the plans?
Yes.
They explained it.
And why is there a big hole in the Death Star that you can just shoot into?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was there on purpose, and that's what Rogue One did. But Solo, it's like they didn't do anything. Like the Chewie Han meeting was underwhelming. I thought it'd be cooler than that.
Yeah, they just
They just get paired up together
Yeah.
and like,
Oh,
we're friends now.
what's up, man? Like that's it.
And then Chewie brushes his hair before he looked like a beast. And but yeah, and it's like they throw Darth Maul in at the end as like a last ditch effort. Like, no, this movie means something. Darth
Yeah.
Maul's around. It's like
But like
too
really,
late. You already lost me.
first of all, if you didn't watch the Clone Wars kids show, you're gonna be so confused because he died supposedly in episode 1. That is a long time before the events of Solo take place. You know what I mean?
That Clone Wars show is canon though.
Yeah, I know that
Yeah,
it is.
most people
but
don't
most
know
peop-
that he's alive.
But most people haven't seen it because I guess a lot of people have, but I don't know. I was like really like, why did this need to be in here? I mean, I thought it was cool at the moment, but upon further thought, it was like, are they gonna do anything with this? They can't just throw like one of the best characters from the prequels just at us and then expect us to be like, oh, okay, that's
Like,
it.
Get hyped up.
And then
For what?
For nothing, yeah. That kind of, so it seemed cool at first, but it didn't really do anything.
But yeah, so let's just, I'm going to start off with the bad, I guess, the cons first. As a movie, it just doesn't really work. Like, it's almost, I think I said this like when I first saw it, but it just kind of checks all the boxes. It kind of like Ant-Man and the Wasp did, but at least Ant-Man and the Wasp had some humor and it kept you interested. This movie, it's like, they almost felt like obligations. So
Yeah.
he's obligated to meet Chewbacca. He's obligated to do the Kessel Run. He's obligated to meet Lando. He's obligated to get the
Right.
Millennium Falcon somehow. And that part is actually one of the good parts. But it's just like when you make things seem like an obligation, it's not as cool or interesting.
Yeah. That's part of, I think, okay, in principle, this is why, okay, maybe in principle the prequels are better in this regard because they weren't really any obligations because they really only had a very like slim outline of what happened before the original series, you know what I mean?
They could take some liberties.
They had a lot of they could work with a lot of things. They could go a lot of directions. But with this, yeah, it was literally like okay, here's all the things that Han has said he's done or that people he knows.
Here's
in
how he got
the
his
originals.
blaster. Remember that? It's the gun he used to kill people.
Ooh, yeah, like okay, it's I didn't really care for Emilia Clarke's character personally.
No, she was a distraction.
Yeah,
We
thought
all
it was-
know his true love is Leia,
yeah.
not this girl.
It was really weird. I
And
think, but
And it's like he acted like this chick was the love of his life. It's like, really? You're going to set up Solo and like this cool romance in a sci-fi movie with Leia and make like so much stuff predicated on that, like AKA Ben Solo. And it's like, oh, by the way, this is Han Solo's other girl. It's
yeah,
kinda-
okay, like it presented like, oh, she's the love of his life, but not really because
Yeah.
we've seen the original films. So
And it's
you
more
know.
like a cool part of Han's character development is that when they meet him, it's like he doesn't need anyone. He's a rogue.
exactly, and then this he was like, I need someone.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like we already. That's another thing.
Like
It's
I guess.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I guess it'd be good if if it was like showing how he developed into a rogue or whatever. But I
Mhm.
feel like they were already kind of like trying to present him as one in this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it didn't really develop the character more in a meaningful way, which is the only reason you should make a movie like this. If you have a great idea, and it's like they didn't. Their idea was, hey, let's put Han Solo in a movie to make more money. That was their
was it.
idea.
And it didn't even work because this
No,
movie did
flopped.
awful at the box office. For at least
Star
I think
Wars
I think
movie.
it made a profit, but for a Star Wars movie, it did terrible. They finally realized, this is what I said when it came out, and I looked at like the box office rating. I said, this is finally going to show them that they can't just make a movie with the Star Wars label slapped on there
Yeah.
or the Marvel label slapped on there, whatever, and it's gonna be a big hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is proof, living proof.
Definitely. So, are there any other cons that you would like to discuss?
I don't know, man. It just seemed like a big string of kind of
stuff happening.
unimportant crap. Yeah.
So, like, compare this to a movie, two apples and oranges here, but compare this to a movie like 8th Grade, a movie that works seamlessly with its tones and its characters. Granted, it didn't have as much, like, source material to deal with, obviously.
Yeah.
But this is an example of a movie that doesn't do that well. It moves the characters really fast, moves through storylines really fast. Like, seriously, think about the three. There's like 3 storylines in this movie that happen. He meets up with the one crew, Woody Harrelson's crew.
Yeah.
Then you learn about those characters, and then boom, we're on to a different storyline. Oh, he meets up with Lando and his girlfriend again.
Yeah.
Nope, got to care about that. Oh, boom, different storyline. Oh, now he's got to do the Kessel Run.
Now he's got to fight Paul Bettany.
Yeah, and then at the end, it's like, oh, we got to team up. It just didn't work.
No, they, the attempts at comedy didn't really work for what the tone set. I felt like.
Which parts?
That's
Which
just-
specific parts are you referring to?
Shoot, dude, I don't even know. I can't even say because none of the comedy was very memorable.
Yeah.
I just remember like vague comedy attempts, like moments, and it didn't really work for me.
Yeah, you know who it was? It was L3. Was that the name of the robot?
Yeah, the one that was talking about
She was pretty unfunny.
the robot civil rights or something like that.
It was like, okay, we get it. Like, that's her shtick.
Like that's funny.
Like, it was maybe funny for like one line.
But that's her whole character.
That's her whole character. She's a robot
She's-
rebel.
She's fighting for robot rights or
And it was
something.
it was annoying, honestly, because, I mean, no offense to the actress that played her. She did a fine job. But everyone was, like, praising her like she,
Were they?
saved lives. Yes, for this movie. And I was like,
Oh.
it's just a mediocre, small performance.
Yeah, it wasn't anything great. I don't think any
It's
of
probably
the.
just her fans or something.
I don't
cheering
think
her on.
any of the performances were particularly. Well, okay. I thought that. What's the main actor's name?
Alden Einherreich. I don't know how to pronounce his
where's
last name.
Oh, what the heck?
That sort of gets part into the good parts of this movie.
Yeah.
He's not a Bond. He's not a Bond. He's not a bad Han Solo.
No, I thought he actually did pretty well for what he was given.
Considering it's just a Harrison Ford impression.
I was
pretty much.
I was like really kind of concerned that it was like it's gonna seem like a completely different like character. Like you're gonna have a Harrison Ford Han Solo and then an Alden Ehrenreich Han Solo, and they're gonna like not mesh at all. But I thought that he did pretty well. I don't think it was perfect, but it's kind of hard to. Yeah, like
it
you
wasn't
said,
worth the panic that was happening before the movie came out, where
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Oh my God, there's rumors going around on the set. He's a terrible actor. He needs an acting coach." Dude did fine. I mean, like
Yeah.
he had a. Again, this just goes with Disney's decision to make this movie. Like, how can you replicate the iconic Han Solo?
Yeah.
Like I think he did the best he could with what he had.
Anything but Harrison Ford is going to be imperfect.
Yeah.
That's
So,
pretty much just a rule of thumb, I think.
I props to him, and yeah.
Yeah, but other than that,
I'm a big Donald Glover fan too.
Yeah, he was pretty good, I guess.
I liked him. He was good. He wasn't extraordinary.
But once again, he's just trying to imitate another.
Billy D. Williams.
Another
It's the same
actor.
situation.
Yeah,
But I like how like he kind of brought his own little thing to like, and it works because it's like a younger Lando.
yeah,
So the cool like another good part of the movie I'd say is how Han actually wins the Millennium Falcon. Because Lando, basically, he puts on this, like, facade of, like, oh, yeah, like, I'm just really good, baby, or whatever. I'm just really smooth. But he's actually a huge cheater.
Yeah.
He's got the cards up his sleeve.
Yeah.
So then Han figures this out and then beats him at his own game and steals his cheating cards to win.
and gets the Millennium Falcon.
Yep, and that's how he gets the Falcon. So I did like that part. I thought that was a nice little touch. But that was after I sat through 2 hours of
Of
mediocre movie.
yeah,
So, But yeah, I guess Lando's going to be in episode 9. So,
Billy D. Williams,
yeah.
Lando.
Yeah.
I
wonder what we're going to do with that.
That's interesting.
But nobody speculate too much because we learned that lesson from The Last Jedi.
Yep, you don't expect anything.
Expect nothing.
Expect the unexpectable or something.
Yeah, but
Alright.
so you want to
Rate it.
yeah, sure, we can move to ratings. 6 out of 10.
I'm gonna go. When I first saw it, I would give it a 6. I think I'm gonna go with a 5 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah, because I've come to like it less since in the interim. I think.
Yeah, my rating might change too if I see it again without like the first time factor in there. But we will see.
We will just see.
So yeah, that's Solo, a Star Wars story. I guess if you're a Star Wars fan, I would recommend the movie because there were, again, we've talked about The Last Jedi on the show before and how we don't really see a lot of the big complaints about the movie. There are critiques to that movie that are deserving, but a
lot of
certain
them
of them, they're not really valid in our opinion.
Oh, it's a cinematic failure because something happened that I didn't think would happen or that I don't like that happened. So it's a cinematic failure. I wanted, it's just.
I saw a YouTube video that called
complaining.
This is I don't know if I can say this on the air, but I saw a YouTube video that called The Last Jedi a cinematic abortion.
That's a harsh word, man. That's a harsh word.
And it made a lot of money. And I think just the problem with that movie was that there are legitimate criticisms, and we've talked about that before. But the people who hated it the most were the loudest.
Oh yeah.
But I've saw some of those people who were the loudest about The Last Jedi loved Solo, so it's okay, nice.
I think those are probably not the brightest in the bunch, maybe.
Wow, Caleb, you feel you taking superiority over the Solo lovers?
I am. I think Last Jedi is definitely immutably something. I don't know. It's a greater film, but I don't know. But a lot of the complaints, what it kind of amounts to is, I wanted this to happen, or the classic, they butchered Luke's character, or any other
that can of worms,
any other route that just ends up being just dumb. I don't know, man. I don't like to think about them too much.
Yeah. All right. So that does it for Solo. So do you wanna talk about another miss, Jurassic World, or would you rather talk about another hit, Caleb?
You know what? I'm gonna talk about the miss just because I think that people need to know.
PSA. Jurassic World.
PSA here. Do not see Jurassic World, or if you do,
brace yourself.
Turn off your brain. Don't expect anything. Because this
just enjoy the charisma that is Chris Pratt.
Enjoy Chris Pratt. That's about it, man. This movie kind of sucked, just in general. There was really hardly any redeeming quality about it. I guess I don't exactly know how to get into this, so I'll just. Is it okay if I spoil things? Okay. So this movie is very just kind of dumb for a lot of reasons. The biggest probably being, there's all the little tiny things like where you watch it and you just roll your eyes. There was, oh my God, I just have to say this. There was a scene where the Velociraptor literally shed a single tear. I was holding back laughter in the theater. I was like, oh my God. Did they really just do that? It was tied up or whatever because the bad guys took him or it was blue or whatever. The bad guys took it and it sheds a single tear as as people are trying to save it. And and I'm not, when I say that it's dumb, I'm not just talking about the little random things that they just throw in there that it's did a character really have to do that? Someone's running away from the Indoraptor, the new hybrid that they didn't learn from in the last movie, apparently. And as she's leaving the room, she bangs her foot on a pot on the floor or something, and then it runs after her. That seems very minor, but you watch it and you're like, really? Just really? Did that need to happen? But the dumbest thing about this movie is the ending. All these dinosaurs or whatever are brought from the island or whatever. I can't remember what it's called because the island is blowing up or something, and the bad guys took them to this mansion and they're trying to auction them off to evil rich people. Evil, Yeah. It's your very typical
See, what these people do is they take the dinosaurs and they make a lot of money.
And they use them for war or, something like that. And and so they're all in this house, right? And I don't remember why exactly, but the house starts filling up with like carbon monoxide or something. And all the dinosaurs are like trapped in this one area where there's like this door to this tunnel that leads outside of the mansion. And oh my god, so they're up in this like control room or something, and there's a button to open up the gate or whatever to let the dinosaurs go out so that they can live. Now this whole movie, Bryce Dallas Howard's character and Chris Pratt's character, their whole character has been trying to save the dinosaurs. And then in this scene, all of a sudden, like they literally, like they just want to save the dinosaurs with absolutely no, they don't care about what happens as a result of that. And it's made pretty clear throughout the whole movie that that's the case. And now all of a sudden, they have the option to save all these dinosaurs. And what do? Oh man, I'm not going to do it. But this is not the dumb part. This is not the dumb part.
It keeps going.
This is not the dumb part. There was like this little girl that was in the movie this whole time, and they had to. So, oh my god, I have to explain so much. I feel like, but they literally retconned in some other like old dude or whatever who like helped out the original old dude. I can't remember his name.
Ian Malcolm.
Yeah.
No,
the old guy who.
Sam Neill. What's his character's name? That guy?
No, that's the. I don't remember.
The OG. Professor.
Yeah, the professor or whatever. But
okay.
They had to like retcon him in as he helped him make all the dinosaurs or whatever. And there's this little girl that runs around the mansion. You know, they're like it's said that she's like his granddaughter or something.
Yeah.
And it turns out that she was actually a clone of her mother who died. Or no, yeah. She's a clone of her mother who died. And they use the same cloning technology for the dinosaurs as for her. And so this is like the big reveal, even though it was like, okay, no one, like, it seemed like very out of place. And what happens is when they're up in that control room and they've all decided, no, we're not going to do it.
We're going to let them die.
Suddenly, the door opens and we look back and we see the girl pressing the button and all the dinosaurs are running out. And she says, she says, I had to let them go. I'm just like them. Or some, like, they're just like me. Like, and that was the whole reason for these dinosaurs getting out. And literally at the end, we're made aware when we see Tyrannosaurus, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, like above, like San Francisco, and it's like roaring and
it made it out all the way
and
over
all
there.
of them made it out. All of the dinosaurs made it out, including the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which apparently
is in every movie.
Is the same Tyrannosaurus Rex. Okay, but literally, the world is screwed. And they just accept like what she did, and they don't say anything. And now there's
dinosaurs
and now
everywhere.
the nation is filled with dinosaurs and T-Rex who have already been shown.
Wait, just from that one house, there's dinosaurs everywhere now?
Well, there was a lot of dinosaurs in there. But I mean, it's not like there's like certain species, like I think the T-Rex only had 1 or 2 or something.
Okay.
But I mean, we've seen from previous films, like Jurassic Park 2 or 3, I don't remember which one, where it literally tears up San Francisco and kills tons of people. And so this little girl just let out all these dinosaurs who we can infer are going to kill tons of people, and they just, I understand. She's just.
That's what Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard said.
She's just like they say nothing, and they just look at her, and they're like, but like that's what they're saying, like, I understand, and then nothing is done, and that's the end, and it is the dumbest ending ever, and it's like
Isn't there like a post-credit scene of like pterodactyls flying around buildings and stuff?
I didn't stay. I don't know, but
Caleb was hightailed it out of there.
It was, I feel like, but it just felt like it was like we were supposed to be okay with this choice, and that this was supposed to be like an admirable choice, and she saved the dinosaurs. But I don't get.
Not convinced.
What I don't get is why we should even be convinced that that we should keep the dinosaurs or save them. This whole movie, we've been presented with Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt saying we can't let the dinosaurs die. We just can't do it. Why we can't do it? I don't know. And now there's dinosaurs across North America, and tons of people are gonna die, and it's like, oh, this is a good decision. No, it's not.
There are no ramifications.
It made me hate this movie. It made me hate this movie for thinking that I could relate to it or that I'm okay with it at all. And this movie just sucks. Do not see it.
It's like they're setting up the third movie to be zombie apocalypse, except dinosaurs in place of zombies.
Like, yeah, it's just, and of course they had to do at the end, the main bad guy getting eaten by dinosaurs. Oh, we haven't seen that in every other Jurassic. We got to throw in all the classic. We got to throw in all the classic cliches, all the stupid character decisions. All the stupid characters. I was telling you about this one character who literally, his whole character is that he's scared of stuff and he screams.
The guy on the poster at Walmart.
I'm super nerdy and I scream at things. Like, it was so
it'd be
frustrating.
good for me to go to an island full of dinosaurs.
This is a good idea. Like, it was frustrating.
Yeah, I'm glad I skipped this one.
Yeah.
Even the first Jurassic World didn't really impress me. I was like,
no, I barely remember the first one, to be honest.
It just wasn't that good. And then I remember my theater was so annoying in the first one. They're like clapping at like everything. The T-Rex takes a poop. Everyone was like literally clapping at anything the T-Rex did. It's like, okay, people, just go watch the original Jurassic Park.
Yeah, if you really love the classic T-Rex roar, just watch another movie. Watch another Jurassic Park movie, man. They're all better than any of this than this Jurassic World crap. If I'm gonna rate it, when it first came out, I gave it a 4. I'm gonna hit it with a 3.
Oh wow!
Because
Caleb's hitting all sorts of news and extremes today.
Because this movie sucks, and that's all I have to say about that.
All right, Forrest. So there is your consensus your half consensus, I guess, on Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, because only one of us saw the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're starting to run out of time here, so I feel like if we started another movie, we wouldn't be able to give it justice.
No.
But we can tell you about some stuff that's going to happen next week. I am finally going to see, Caleb, you saw BlacKkKlansman, right?
I
Spike
did.
Lee's?
I saw it over the summer.
I'm going to finally see that. It's playing at the Rivoli Theater in La Crosse. So if you're a La Crosse resident, go check out the Rivoli Theater. It could use your support, and they have reasonable prices and
it's a pretty good theater,
good
I think.
movies. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much all we have to say. That's what's coming up next week, and we will talk to you guys next week, same time, new time, Friday at 1 p.m. Post credits with Caleb and Nate. Thanks
See you
for
then.
listening.